Is it secured? Or is it a service? When we take a look at bills, when we first open an estate, we want to make sure that if the bill is secured, meaning that if you didn't pay it, an actual item would be removed, taken away from the estate, right? If we own a car and we have a car loan, the loan is secured by the car. If we don't make the payment on the loan, the car gets repossessed. We have a house. A house is secured by a mortgage. Sometimes it's also secured by a HELOC. If we don't make the payment on the mortgage or the HELOC, the house goes into foreclosure. Someone will try to take it away from the estate. If it is secured, pay the bill. If it is a service that you require, if it is a house and we need to pay the electricity service to make sure that the home is taken care of, we need to make sure we pay a trash service so that items are taken out of the home. We need to make sure we are paying a funeral home service, something that is required, then absolutely pay that bill. If it is anything else, if it is a credit card, if it is a friend, if it is a beneficiary or a family member, if it is a student loan, if it is a personal loan, if it is a debt that is for a service that has already been canceled. I'm looking at you, Verizon. We canceled the cell phone. The decedent's not going to use it anymore. We're canceling the credit protection service. The decedent's not going to use it anymore. Then no, we are not going to be paying those bills. Those back bills for services rendered to the decedent up until when they passed are going into a separated pile, and you do not pay them until you get through the end of the creditor period. Those bills are going to be sorted by statute in order of priority from the thing that you want to pay that's required to be paid the most, which is honestly, the funeral home gets paid first. The attorney gets paid second. The executor gets paid third. Then we have health and hospital bills get paid fourth. Then we can start looking at things like the IRS. Taxes will need to be paid ahead of Capital One. These are going to be the pieces that we'll have to put together at the end, order them in priority, and hopefully, we have a solvent estate where all of those bills will not take up the entirety of the decedent's assets. For most of the creditor period, if you are the executor, you are going to be spending your time trying to go out and get assets, going to get the things in the estate that we would use to pay the bills. So those are things like the bank accounts, the checking accounts, making sure that we have access to any kind of stock accounts, making sure that we get refunds on any prior service that we've paid and we aren't going to be used because they've passed on. So that is the work, is we're going to get as many assets as we can. We're going to set all the bills aside. When we get to the end of the creditor period, we look at the pile of our assets, we look at the pile of debts, we order the pile of debts so we know who gets paid first and foremost, and then, and only then, will we pay the bills. Once we pay all the bills, then we get to split it out to beneficiaries. Do not pay a beneficiary early. This will cause you a really big problem. So if you're not sure what to pay, remember, is it secured or is it a necessary service that we currently use? Those two items can be paid interim. Everything else you're going to set aside until we get to the end of the creditor period. The creditor period is 7 months from the date that you receive letters. I don't just talk about this on the internet. I do this in real life. So if you need some personal assistance to help you get through, make sure you call our office. You can book a private consult with me, and I will walk through this process with you and help give you confidence on what you need to do as an administrator. My name is Lauren Glenn. I work in upstate New York. I only work on New York estates, so don't call me if you're in a different region, but I'm available to assist. I hope you have a good day.